I'm Cathy, and welcome to my basic Hatha Yoga class. This is Don, who'll be helping me out today. So let's start by coming into an easy pose where you're comfortable on your mat. Palms are face open. We want to keep the spinal column straight, eyes closed. And we'll just take a few deep breaths just to relax and to come into our space. So the thing to remember here is just to relax the shoulders and begin quieting the mind. So take a couple more breaths and keep the palms open for positive light and energy into the soul. And take just one more full breath. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And then let's go ahead and turn the palms down onto the knees. And we're going to start by releasing the tension in the shoulders and the neck and bringing the shoulders into a rounded position, forward, up, and back, shoulder rolls. Just release any tension in the neck. And this is very good to get into your warm-up very easily, very gently. So do a few of these and really feel this movement when you bring the shoulders up and you bring them back and down. Really feel this movement. So we'll do one more going back. And then we'll come into our neutral position and we'll bring the shoulders back, bring them up to the ears and roll them forward. It's a very gentle movement. And all the time we're using our breath. We're using either our natural breath or a slow inhale for 6 counts through the nose and then 6 counts gently through the nose. So let's go ahead and relax the shoulders now, bringing our head to a neutral position and gently tilting our right ear toward the right shoulder. So here's where you want to keep the shoulders neutral here. You don't want to lift the shoulder up. The idea is to keep the spine and the shoulders in alignment with each other. So we take 2 full breaths here. Palms are face down. And bring our head back to neutral. Come back to our neutral position. And then bring the left ear to the left shoulder. And all this time focusing on our breath, continue relaxing our mind and focusing on our practice and just being on the mat. And we'll come back to neutral. And then we'll bring the hands up. On the inhale, we'll bring them up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's go ahead and inhale the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart center. And this last time, on the inhale, when we bring them up, on the exhale, we're going to bring them out to the sides where the fingertips are touching the earth. And just gently lowering the chin toward the chest, keeping the spinal column and the neck elongated. On the inhale, bring the hands up. And exhale, relaxing the hands down. Fingertips touching the mat, chin toward the chest. Elongating the neck and the spine. And inhale, bringing the arms up. And exhale, fingertips touching the mat, chin toward the chest. This is a gentle, easy movement. And this time, on the inhale, bring the arms up. Hands clasped together, and hands to heart center. We'll go ahead and relax the hands on the knees again, taking 2 full breaths as we continue warming up and releasing all the tension and stress from our mind and focusing only on our practice and our breathing. So let's come out of this pose and we'll come into our tabletop pose to warm up in our cat and cow, Majari Asana. And what this is we're just warming up the spine for our standing poses and our postures, our extended postures in our yoga practice. So coming into cow, on the inhale, we lift the head and the tail, bringing the spine closer to the navel. On the exhale, we bring the navel to the spine, releasing the head and the tail, and really rounding the spine here, relaxing the head and the neck. On the inhale, bringing the navel closer to the earth. On the exhale, navel to the spine. Inhale, navel to the earth, and navel to the spine on the exhalation. So we'll do one full round. On the inhale, navel to the earth, and exhale. This time, navel to the spine. I'm going to hold this position just a little bit longer. Really feel the spinal column relaxing, the lower lumbar region relaxing here, and the shoulders and the arms. So if you notice, the fingers are splayed out for balance, and the shoulders are directly over the wrist, and the knees are hip width apart. So we'll come back into our tabletop. We'll tuck our big toes together, bringing our knees out to the side, coming into our child's pose, Balasana. So extending the arms and the hands out. The head rests on the mat. Spinal column is soft. This is a nice stretch in the lower lumbar region. If you're tight in the hips and the lower back, this does wonders. It's also good for the hips as a nice gentle hip opener. And take about 2 or 3 relaxing breaths in this pose. And anytime you need a break in your practice, this is the go-to pose to rest. So now we'll come up into our tabletop. So just rise up gently. Anytime you relax on the mat, you want to rise up gently, tucking the toes under, coming into our downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So in this pose, the spinal column is straight. The head is in line with the spine here. You can also go a little bit further and tuck the chin toward the chest if this is comfortable. If not, leave it right where it is. Strong arms here. Fingers are still splayed for balance. And it's okay if the heels don't touch the mat. What's important here is the form with the spine, and that you get a good stretch in the legs. So we'll take 2 full breaths here. And again, this is also a resting pose in addition to our child's pose if you need a break during your practice. So let's go ahead and step the right leg forward into our lunge pose, Anjaneyasana. And again here, even though that back leg is straight, you can always come down on that left knee. Always lower down and lower the top of that back foot if you need to. So gently rising, we're going to lift the arms up. Gently rising and relaxing the shoulders down. And inhale and lift. And exhale and relax down. Let's lower the arms down. Okay, so let's step that left leg back into downward facing dog. And again, nice, strong, straight spine, strong arms. Fingers are splayed for balance. So let's step that right leg through. And we're going to plant that left foot down on an angle. And on the inhale, rise with the arms. Nice rise. Shoulders relax. On the exhale, and inhale and lift the arms, and exhale and relax the shoulders. This time we're going to inhale and lift the arms up, and exhale, lower forward into relaxed warrior. Bring the arms back behind you. So you can either keep the arms loose behind you or clasp them, whatever feels comfortable. This is a nice stretch. And on the inhale, release the hands and come up. Extend the arms, nice stretch. Relax the shoulders, and exhale, bring the arms back. Humble warrior. Nice alignment in the legs, in the feet. That knee is bent in the front. And on the inhale, come up again. And we're going to circle that left arm around, bringing that left foot out to the side for a warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. So again, this knee here is bent in between the toes. Nice strong leg. The knee is centered. It's not pointing in toward the hip, and it's not out. So this is a very centered pose. Active legs, active core, relaxing the shoulders here, and just breathe. Just breathe into your practice. 2 full breaths. We check our alignment here. Nice strong arms. Very nice pose. So another full breath. And then let's go ahead and straighten the right leg. So now we're in our triangle pose, our Trikonasana. So on the inhale, take an inhale, and exhale, we're going to lower that right arm down toward the ankle. And this left arm is going to come straight up. So we look up toward this arm, or we can bring it around the back, whatever feels comfortable. Looking out over this left shoulder. So again, you can see the alignment here is very nice. The spinal column, the neck, and the head is also away from that right shoulder. It's very important to keep the head elevated and the neck in line with the spine. The core is active, the legs are strong. Strong feet, strong arms. 2 full breaths here. Relax into the pose. Really feel the body adjusting to the movement. So let's now release that arm up. We're going to circle it toward the face. Come back up into our triangle. Nice stance. So we're going to come forward and come into our goddess pose. So we're going to turn the feet inward. So with our feet inward, we're going to inhale the arms up. And exhale. When you exhale, we're going to bend the elbows and the knees together. So make sure that the legs are in closer together so it's comfortable. So nice straight core, nice straight spine. And notice that the arms are in line with the shoulders here. They're not back. So we're not opening the chest. We're not hyperextending the shoulders. In line. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, pull them down. And inhale, when the arms come up, the legs straighten. And exhale, pull the arms down, bend the elbows, bend the knees. And inhale, come up, pull it up, straighten the legs, and exhale, bend the knees. And now this time, on the inhale, we're going to come up with the arms, raise the arms up, keep the legs straight. Now, keep the legs straight and just bring the arms back behind you. So we're going to clasp the hands here and come into a little back bend. So we want to just tilt back. We're opening the chest, the heart, and the lungs, looking up toward the ceiling, taking 1 full breath. And on the second breath, when we inhale this breath, I'm going to fold forward on the exhalation, coming into a forward fold. And allowing the arms to follow forward with you on this. Coming into our wide-legged fold. And here too, you can either keep the legs straight or you can bend the knees, whatever feels comfortable for you. So planting that right arm down, we're going to go ahead and lift the left arm, bringing it behind us, coming into a spinal twist. And our spinal twists and bends are good to keep moving the internal organs. So our bends and twists help with our muscles, our bones, and our tissues, but also for our internal organs to keep them healthy and moving. So again, in this one, the arm comes behind the back. You're looking out over that left shoulder. Nice, strong spinal twist. And again, the knees can be bent if that's comfortable or straight. So we'll go ahead and lift this left arm up and lower it onto the mat. And keeping the left arm steady now, we inhale the breath and exhale, lifting that right arm up, coming into our spinal twist and either keeping that arm up or relaxing it around the back. And again, as with both sides, they vary. So one side is a little bit more flexible, a little bit more giving than the other. So you have to see which one you can play with. And sometimes both of them are cooperating, so just go with it. Let's go ahead and lift that right arm up and exhale and lower it to the mat. So let's go ahead and slowly rise in our stand. And now we're going to turn this left foot out for warrior one. Yes. Reaching up with the arms, relaxing the shoulders. And inhale, reaching the arms up. And exhale, relaxing the shoulders. And notice how strong the legs are. The front knee is in between the toes, nice strong core. Inhale, reach, and exhale, let's come into humble warrior. So the arms come back around. Nice strong stance. This is a nice balanced pose. On the inhale, we're going to rise into our Virabhadrasana 1, lifting and reaching. reaching, and exhale and bring your back behind you. Nice extension in the arms, nice strong arms. Inhale, bring it forward, and exhale, bring it back. And now again, this time, just like we did on the other side, we're going to come up on our inhale and circle that right arm around, bringing that right foot out to the side, coming into our Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. So again, nice strong arms, shoulders are relaxed, strong core. That left knee is directly over the middle toes. That knee is bent and strong. Back leg is active, 2 full breaths. So as we settle into this pose, we notice how comfortable we feel. It's a nice hip opener. Okay, nice strong Warrior Two. And then from here, we're going to straighten this leg, coming into our triangle. And now our Uttita Trikonasana, coming up with that right arm. Nice alignment here. The arms are perpendicular to each other. This is a nice form. The head and the neck and the spine are all in line with each other, active legs. We'll take 2 full breaths here. And again, the left ear is away from that left shoulder. This is a nice form. Now let's go ahead and bring that arm toward the face, coming back up into our triangle. And now, relaxing our arms, let's relax our arms. We're going to turn our feet toward the front, coming back into our goddess pose, and just kind of move the feet in together. So we're going to try a balanced pose with Dawn today. We're going to come into our tree pose, Vrikshasana. So in tree pose, there are 3 different levels, but our beginner pose is where we'll start. So before we do that, we'll just come into our Tadasana, our mountain pose, and just relax the palms forward. Feet are about hip width apart, shoulders are relaxed, and chin is slightly tucked with our eyes closed. So we'll take 2 full breaths. And this pose is a pose of strength, of power, and endurance, which is why we call this our mountain pose. We're on a mountain, and we feel the strength and endurance of our practice. So let's slowly open our eyes, and we're going to bend that right knee, and we're going to turn that right knee out to the right side, and that the base of the foot is going to touch right on the inside of the left leg. Hands to heart center. Shoulders are relaxed here in our tree pose. This is a basic beginner pose, and this is a nice, strong, balanced pose because you're not on both feet, you're on one foot. Now, if you want to take it a little bit higher, you can always bring that foot along the inside of that left leg. Just keep it off the knee. You can even go higher on the leg, just keeping it above that knee. And when you feel comfortable, nice. And what you want to do here is focus on a non-moving object. You want to focus your mind on being steady and still, just enjoying that stillness in the pose. And when you're ready, if you feel comfortable, you can move the arms, you can play with the arms. Bringing them up overhead, bringing them out, however you feel comfortable. So this is the highest level of this pose. And when you're ready to come out of this, we'll come back into hands to heart center. Gently turn this leg inward and set it down gently alongside the left leg. Very nice. So we'll relax in this pose, in our mountain pose, our Tadasana. And again, taking 2 full breaths here, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the chin toward the chest, closing the eyes, palms are forward, open, feeling that power and that strength and endurance in our practice. And feet are about hip width apart. So again, we want to bend that left knee, turning that left knee out to the side and bringing the heel of the left foot onto the ankle of the right foot. Hands to heart center. And again, either staying here in your practice, and this is fine, and gradually working up to the next level, the mid-level, and then the highest level of this pose. And again, as you're doing this, each side is different. So balance might be better on one side than the other, and this is great. This just gives you something more to work on. You can also use the wall if you need to when you first start doing Vrikshasana. So again, as Don is doing again, hands above the crown, clasp. You can also open them if you feel comfortable. You can play around with this pose as you're learning to do this over time in your practice. So let's bring hands to heart center again, and we'll turn that knee in toward the front and gently set it down alongside the right foot. Beautiful. And again, coming into our mountain pose and relaxing. We'll take 2 full breaths. And again, just taking in what you've done so far in your practice, the standing poses and downward facing dog and our balance pose to kind of center the body, just taking in the practice so far. And then from here, we're going to slowly just relax the arms. And we're going to bend the knees and slowly come into our forward fold. So we gently lower onto our mat and come into our seated position. So resting our hands on our knees, we're going to take 2 full breaths. And again, relaxing the shoulders as we come into the third part of our practice. So let's go ahead and extend both legs out in front of us. And making sure the sits bones are even on your mat. We'll go ahead and straighten the left leg and bend the right knee and cross the right knee over the left leg. So we're going to inhale the arms up. And we're going to twist over to the right side and exhale. Coming into a spinal twist. This is a nice spinal twist. You're looking out over that right shoulder, taking 2 full breaths. So here you can see how elongated the spine is, a nice center spine. The head is up high. We're not crouched in this position. So we're going to look toward the left. We're going to turn our head first and then come back around and unwind. Now, we're going to uncross our right leg. Relax the right leg on the mat and bend the left knee and cross it over the right leg. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, twist over to the left, coming into our twist. And again here, also when we do this side, we always want to pay attention to how each side feels. If we're struggling with a little bit of discomfort on the right side of the back or the left or the lower lumbar region or the neck, we always pay attention to how these feel. And we go according to our practice that way, and always using caution when we need to back off and take a break. So on the inhale, we'll turn facing the camera and then exhale, twisting all the way around and unwinding. So releasing, uncrossing that left leg, bending our knees in, and turning toward me, turning to the right. Turning to the right and lying back down on our mat. So we're going to use our straps. We're going to come into our leg lifts, our scissor poses, but we're going to take 2 full breaths here. And just relaxing in this mini meditation pose for just a few minutes. We're not in full meditation at this point. So 2 full breaths, we relax the shoulders, we soften the jaw, just relax the body just for a few moments. And we'll go ahead and bend the right knee and take the straps in our hands. And we'll wrap the strap around the ball of the right foot. And the reason we do this is to keep the foot flexed so that we gain a lot of flexibility and mobility in our leg and our calf muscles and our hamstrings. So we feel this nice strengthening stretch here with the arms. We'll take the straps into the left hand Releasing that right arm out, and when you release the right arm out, open the palm, because this opens the heart and the lungs. We face it down, we're closing everything off, and we spend our entire practice opening the heart and the lungs. So on the inhale, we'll take a gentle inhale, and on the exhalation, we're going to let that right leg fall over to the left, coming into a nice reclined spinal twist. And as you're breathing, no matter what breath you're using, the slow inhale, slow exhalation, or the natural breathing, we feel the leg gently relaxing onto the mat, using that breath, helping it along, helping the body to relax even more. So we've warmed up the spinal column, the muscles, and the tissues, so they're pretty pliable and flexible at this point. So we'll take another full inhale. And we always want to pay attention to how this strength, this feeling is in the leg, where we're feeling this along the IT band. Is it behind the knee? Is it in the hip? Is it in the shoulders? So you need to pay attention to those sensations that the body is giving off. So let's go ahead and raise that right leg back up. And then we'll switch hands, taking the straps into the right hand, relaxing the left arm. Again, palm is out. Both shoulders are on the mat. Take a gentle inhale, and then exhale, releasing that right leg out to the right side, just as far as you can go. There is no set amount of time until your leg reaches the earth. It just depends on how comfortable you are and just respecting those boundaries. So again, just using a couple breaths here. Just relaxing the shoulders, the spinal column, the hips, and everything is in line. And let's go ahead and raise that right leg back up. And with both hands on the straps, just gently pulling that leg in, relaxing the shoulders. And go ahead and bending that right knee. And releasing the strap, but sending that right foot up to the ceiling, flexed foot. And gently releasing it slowly onto the mat. And as you do this, you're going to notice that this leg is now lighter and feels longer than the other side. So we need to make it even. So let's go ahead and bend that left knee. Wrap the strap around the ball of the left foot. And gently send it up toward the ceiling. And again, that left arm is out, open palmed. Both shoulders are on the mat. Take a gentle inhale. And gently release that left leg over to the right. So again, we start feeling that stretch along the IT band, the iliotibial band, on the outside of the thigh. We notice where the sensation is. Is it here? Is it behind the knee? Is it in the hip? Is it in the right shoulder? So where are we feeling the sensation? Pay attention to that and go with it. And if you feel you can go a little bit further, don't be afraid to challenge yourself, but use caution. As long as you use caution, you will never hurt yourself. Keeping that foot flexed. Legs are active. So let's bring that leg back up to the center. We'll switch arms. Releasing that right arm to the mat. Taking a gentle inhale and exhale, releasing that left leg out to the left. When we release the leg out to the side, either side, we're also let going of a lot of tension and stress in the hips and the lower back. So if you've been sitting at work or you've been taking long drives or you just kind of overdid it, moving things around, this is an excellent exercise for that. This really releases a lot of that tightness and that stress. So 2 full breaths here. And again, you'll notice as you begin to relax, the body adheres to the pose and agrees with it. Again, so let's just bring that left leg back up to the center. Taking both hands on the straps and gently pulling it in toward the body, relaxing the shoulders. And gently bending that knee, releasing the strap, and sending that left foot up toward the ceiling. And gently lowering it alongside the right leg. So now both our legs are lighter and longer and feel leaner. So we'll take 2 full breaths here before we come into our bridge pose. So let's go ahead and bend the knees and bring in the feet as close to the hips as possible. So in this pose, always in yoga, we want to protect the spinal column, the vertebrae, and the knees, because once we do damage to the spinal column and the knees, it takes a long time to heal them. So we want to be very careful. So we use a block, a light foam block, and we can place this in between the knees. So if you have problems in this bridge pose, keeping your legs together, because things happen when we're in this pose, our knees kind of go all over and we're trying to balance ourselves. This not only keeps the knees together, but it keeps the inner thighs active by pressing the block together. So on the inhale here, you're going to inhale and lift the hips gently. You can also place the block underneath the sacrum, under here if you need to. A lot of times it's hard when you first start doing this pose to keep the hips elevated. So you have the block, you can place it under the sacrum. So this is a shoulder balance on the floor. You can either keep the hands at your sides or you can bring them closer together and clasp them. And rounding the spine even more, so you're able to come up higher in your bridge pose. It's important here also to continue breathing. Continue the breath, continue breathing. You don't want anybody turning blue, so don't stop breathing. A lot of times people they're so focused on doing the pose right that they forget to breathe. This is a very important part of the practice. So we'll take one more full breath. Let's go ahead and unclasp the hands and slowly come down vertebrae by vertebrae. We're releasing the feet on the mat. And let's go ahead and remove the block. And we'll bring the knees into the chest. Hugging the knees into the chest and just rocking out the spine. This releases even more stress. And after coming into those side twists and bends, a lot of times it irritates a little something that needs to be rocked out a little bit more because we're not used to stretching in those positions. So we'll take 2 more full breaths. And before we come into our meditation or Shavasana, now line up our bolster prop and go ahead and relax the legs on the bolster. Relaxing the arms at the sides. So close our eyes, soften the jaw, releasing the tongue from the roof of the mouth, relaxing the shoulders, and allowing the arms to splay out naturally, allowing your spine to relax into the earth, allowing the hips to rest on the mat, the knees to relax on the bolster or a pillow if you have one at home that you want to use, and allowing the feet to splay out naturally. And keeping the eyes closed, we focus on our practice, and we are thankful for all that we have. Just relaxing and using the breath. Thank you for joining me in this Hatha Yoga practice. Namaste.